So, 2025 has been a huge year for Transformers. And after picking up a lot of figures over the past 12 months, it's finally time to break it all down. This is my top 20 Transformers of 2025, based purely on the figures I personally got, how fun they were, how much they impressed me, and how often I actually wanted to mess with them. Just a quick note before we get started, the cutoff date was Christmas of 2025. So anything I picked up after that, like Age of the Primes Brawl, Soulless, or Chainsaw Man, won't be included here. Those will be counted towards my 2026 list instead. Now, narrowing this down was honestly pretty tough. So before we get into the main top 20, let's talk about a few figures that just missed the cut. These are my honourable mentions. First up is Classics Optimus Prime. This is still a really cool figure, and I'm generally glad to have it in the collection. Mine's missing the SMG, which doesn't help, but honestly the main reason it didn't make the list is that I just didn't have as much fun with it as I thought I would. Next is Legacy Evolution Metalhawk. On its own, it's a great figure, but for me, this one's more of a project than as an action figure, since I'm planning to custom it into the Transformers 1 Megatronus, and because of that, I don't really view it as a standalone figure, which kept it off the list. We've also got the Yolopark Minis, Soundwave and Megatron. Not Optimus, because he's kinda trash. These are fun little display pieces, but the joint tolerances are a bit rough, and Megatron's face paint, especially the eyes, are pretty far off. Cool concepts, just not top 20 material for me. Next up is Siege Megatron, which you might have seen in my Facebook unboxing video. This one's incomplete, it's missing a foot and the cannons, and it's becoming more of a 2026 project. I've ordered a replacement Megatron for parts, and I'm already 3D printing pieces, but as it stands, it couldn't make the list. And just to round things out, some quick honourable mentions go to the Premier Edition Last Night Hound, Earthrise Snapdragon, 07 Leader Megatron, and the Light Up Cyberverse Megatron, which is actually really fun for what it is. Alright, with those out of the way, let's get into the actual list. Coming in at number 20, we've got Weijang's Upscaled Brawl. This is essentially an improved upscaled version of the 07 Leader class figure, designed to better fit with the Masterpiece Movies scale. It looks great on the shelf and is cool enough to earn a spot on the list, just not very high. At number 19, I've got a pairing, Combiner Wars Armada Megatron and Legacy United Armada Galvatron. These two feel pretty linked, so it made sense to include them together. The Combiner Wars Megatron is a solid figure, though articulation is a bit limited because of the working tank treads in the legs. Legacy United Galvatron, on the other hand, looks fantastic, great colors, good posability, and it just feels really nice in hand. Together, they make a strong Armada representation. Number 18 is a knockoff Combiner Wars Bruticus, with a bit of a twist. This one isn't customized yet, but it's something I definitely want to work on in the future. The plan is to use Air Raid as the right leg instead of Swindle, purely based on looks and personal preference. As it stands, the playability is actually great. Being able to go from robot modes to vehicle modes to combine mode is where the real fun is. That said, because it's a knockoff, there are a few issues here and there. Even with that, it's still a really fun set and earns its spot on the list. At number 17, we've got Yolopark Scourge and Bumblebee. These were my first Transformers model kits, and I picked them up early this year. They're both fun to build, look imposing, and display incredibly well. I originally wanted to put them separately on the list, but it just made more sense to pair them together, and I'm honestly happy with where they landed. Primal almost made the list, but I just didn't find them as enjoyable as the other two. Number 16 goes to Aotp Prime's Vortex. This is a really solid figure overall. The arm kibble can be a bit restrictive, but you can either collapse or remove it depending on preference. More importantly, this is a great start to an upcoming Aotp Prime's Bruticus. I've got Brawl as well, and I'm generally excited for this combiner. Vortex works well, both as an individual figure and as part of a larger team. At number 15 is Earthrise Scorponok, my very first Titan class figure. He's now the biggest figure in my collection, even towering over my Armada Unicron. The colors are great, the Scorpion mode is solid, and while the arms are a little awkward and the base mode isn't the strongest, I'm just happy to finally own a Titan. Especially since I managed to grab mine for an insane Facebook deal, around $90. Number 14 is Studio Series 86 Grimlock. You've already seen a review on this guy, and he even showed up in my Oz Comic Con video. He's an excellent interpretation of his 86 design. Big, imposing, and he looks fantastic next to my 86 Ultra Magnus. Accessories are a little bit lacking, and I really wish he came with a sword instead of wheelie, but I solved that with a 3D printed sword of my own. Coming in at number 13 is Age of Extinction Evasion Mode Optimus Prime. I've always wanted a version of this mold, ideally the scrapyard version, but this one is still fantastic. It perfectly blends that Michael Bay aesthetic with a G1 style truck. He poses well, the transformation is solid, and while mine's missing the gun, that's nothing a bit of 3D printing can't fix. Overall, a really great figure. At number 12, I've grouped together Blokees, because honestly, it's been more of a shared experience than just one figure. The classic class Megatronus is amazing, great posability, and that metallic purple looks incredible. The regular size figures, like the Shining Orion Pax and the Constructicon Scrapper, are super articulated and fun. Even the minis are great little desk toys. I'm especially excited to slowly build up the Blokees Devastator and soon the Blokees Bruticus. Number 11 is Legacy Tarn, and yeah, this figure is incredible. I love the size, the posability, the overall presence, and that head sculpt. The Decepticon logo just looks perfect. Tarn feels commanding on a shelf, and easily one of the strongest modern Decepticon figures we've gotten. At number 10 is Aotp Optimus Prime. As a standard Optimus Prime figure, he's not perfect. The lack of heels makes standing a bit tricky, but that's not really the point of its release. The real highlight is the massive trailer, which transforms into his power armor / jetwing mode. It feels like something straight out of concept art, and it's honestly one of the most unique Optimus releases I own. Number 9 goes to Armada Jetfire. Mine is a bit incomplete, missing some parts and the gun, but this figure is absolutely carried by nostalgia. He's not the most posable, not really at all, but I've always loved this design, and I'm really hoping to eventually pick up an Armada Optimus Prime to combine them properly. Even incomplete, Jetfire still earns its place on the list. Coming in at number 8 is Beast Wars 2 Gigastorm, also known as G1 Triptychon. This figure isn't about posability, it's all about playability. The base mode is fantastic, honestly way better than Scorponok's, and it just looks amazing on display. The transformation is fine. It's an 80s figure, so it's not super complex. But the real highlight is that it can actually walk, powered by 2 C-sized batteries. It tilts side to side with every step, like it's about to fall over, but it never does. It's just incredibly fun, and I'm so glad I finally have one. At number 7 is Power the Prime's Leader Optimus. This is one of my few G1 styled primes in that classic leader size scale, and I really like it. He looks great, feels solid, and I love that you can remove the middle section and turn it into Orion packs. The whole idea of hinting at Optimus's evolution is such a cool concept. The truck mode is fine, the trailer is cool, but the real standout is the way that the trailer and Orion packs combine into the main body. The way it just clicks into place is incredibly satisfying. Number 6 is Aotp Prime's Onyx Prime, and I was extremely hyped for this figure. Onyx is one of the coolest primes, and the fact that he's a centaur just makes him even better. I love that you can display him with 2 legs, 4 legs, or even 6 legs in beast mode. Overall, he's a really strong figure. I just haven't fully gotten used to the sheer number of joints in the legs yet. If I had gotten used to it already, it could have been ranked even higher on this list. But still, he's an amazing prime, and I'd absolutely recommend picking him up. Coming in at number 5 is Studio Series Transformers 1 Sentinel Prime. And this was easily one of my most anticipated figures of the year. I love this design. His attitude honestly reminds me of Homelander from The Boys. The battle mode is sick, and I'm really glad that he can do both the battle mode and the jet mode, even if the jet wasn't in the movie. He feels great, has tons of detail, and I love little features like the battle mask and the arm cannons. Mine has slightly loose shoulders, which I'll fix, and the wings aren't totally accurate, but I'm not displaying him from behind anyways. At number 4 is Movie the Best, Dark of the Moon Shockwave. I've always wanted a live action Shockwave, and this version absolutely delivers. I originally wanted the Studio Series release, but honestly, this one takes the cake. The dark metallic blue looks incredible, especially for its age. He poses well, feels great, and is easily one of the most fun figures I picked up this year. I grabbed him off of Bai from Japan with a few other figures, and he completely stole. If you want a live action Shockwave, I highly recommend this one. Coming in at number 3 is Studio Series Age of Extinction Leader Class Optimus Prime. And yeah, this figure is amazing. He topped basically every other live action figure I picked up this year. The posing is great, the engineering is solid, and he comes with fantastic accessories like the sword, shield, and arm blade. Mine has a backpack issue due to a misassembled armature, but overall, he's still an incredible figure. Even the truck mode is good, though I still prefer the 2014 Leader Class version. At number 2 is Age of the Prime's Megatronus, probably everyone's favorite prime. The fact that he's based on the IDW design instantly makes him stand out. And the fire effects just push him over the edge. The Requiem Blaster is awesome, posability is great, and while the transformation is just okay, the tank mode looks solid. I do wish the staff was a bit more substantial instead of just being the sword on the stick, but overall, he's easily one of the coolest looking primes ever made. And finally, coming in at the number 1 spot is the Dramatic Capture Series Optimus Prime. This is essentially the Earthrise Optimus Prime, but with a much more G1 accurate and inspired paint job. And I absolutely love it. I picked this up through Grays Online. The picture just showed the Dramatic Capture Series box, and it turned out it wasn't the full set. But honestly, I wasn't upset at all. I was just happy to finally get this Optimus. The trail is fine. I'll probably print some upgrades, but the Optimus himself is incredible. I've 3D printed him an axe, and that just made me love him even more. I went back and forth between him and Megatronus for the top spot, but I found myself picking Optimus up off the shelf more often. Plus, he was my first proper G1 styled Optimus Prime, and that changed my thoughts on G1 styled Primes. So that was my top 20 Transformers of 2025, based entirely on the figures I personally picked up this year and how much I generally enjoyed them. This list isn't about what's the most accurate, the most expensive, or the most hyped. It's just about what stood out to me and what I had the most fun with, and what I kept coming back to on the shelf. A lot of great figures didn't make the list, and honestly, the rankings could probably change on a different day. But that's part of what makes this hobby fun. I'll also be doing some full reviews on a few of these figures down the line, like Vortex, Onyx, Scorponok, and possibly a few others, so keep an eye out for those. If you enjoyed the video, let me know what your top Transformers of 2025 would be in the comments, and if you'd like this format, I'll definitely be doing it again next year. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.